Hey everybody, welcome back to DBS. It just occurred to me that I haven't made a discussion video since I think before Dark Souls even began. Dark Souls 3 started. Uh, Discussed some trailer thoughts, discussed the starting gifts, talked about the soul level meta. But since then I haven't talked to you guys, so I think it's about time now that the DLC has been announced and that we've seen now some gameplay footage of the DLC. And I've been looking around on the Dark Souls 3 subreddit, and there seems to be a group of individuals who seem to be upset, and I'm gonna tackle some of these head on. Um, Again, I need to stress that I'm not a fanboy. I always like to be very objective. I see everything from all angles, so I'm gonna try to be as objective as I can. First of all, the main thing people are upset about is that the DLC is actually going to be very short. They This idea came about because Polygon and IGN Japan have released an interview with Hidetaka Miyazaki where he spoke and said that the DLC, as shown in the gameplay trailer, is only 2 bosses, and there will be 4 sets of armor, 4 new spells, and 15 new weapons. And that this DLC has a different theme from the main. Okay, so people were upset, like, what do you mean it's only 2 bosses? 2 bosses. The last couple of DLCs all had more than that. And then to add on to this, Miyazaki said that the 2 DLCs that are supposed to be coming out for Dark Souls 3 combined are the exact same or roughly the same size as the Artorias of the Abyss DLC for Dark Souls 1. Okay, let's put things into perspective. Dark Souls 1 DLC had 4 bosses: the Sanctuary Garden, Artorias, the Abyss Walker, Black Dragon Calamite, and Manus, the Father of the Abyss. Um, if we have to put things in kind of a perspective, the Artorias of the Abyss DLC on the first playthrough was actually very large. If you think about the woods, the Royal Woods area, and then the Ulasil Township, and the Chasm of the Abyss or Chasm of the Abyss, plus the optional content to do with Calamity. It's actually very meaty. But when you replay the DLC, it's usually you skip the Royal Woods. At least I do. I just run through it straight down to Ulasil. So um, it might feel short when you think about it. There's only really 3 areas in the game. Only one of them is large, and that's the Royal Woods. But most of the time, you just skip right through it to Artorias, so that it feels shorter then. And Ulasil Township, if you just run straight to the chasm, it's pretty short as well. I think that the issue comes down to people's disappointment that they just want a lot more content. And of course, no one's against more content. I know I'm not definitely against more content. And that the pricing of the DLCs is actually very high for both. I think it's $30 for both, like 15 each. Um, and then you got the season pass, which is at $25. You save $5. Let's talk about more perspective. The Dark Souls 2 DLCs, each one was about $10, if I'm not mistaken, or $15 each. However, they were actually meaty in comparison. If you think about the Sunken King, the Burnt Iron King, and the what's it called, Ivory King, each of these levels was actually very large. It was even not just from the size, but even as level design is actually much better than the main game of Dark Souls 2. And they were highly praised uh, compared to the main vanilla game. They each had 3 bosses. Sunken King, you had the the infamous Gank Squad optional boss. You had Sing the Slumbering Dragon, and you had Elsana. Um, Elsana or Elise, whatever, that one that summons Velstadt, the poison version of Velstadt. And the Iron King, you had the Blue Smelter Demon, the ranch version. When that was crap. You had Sir Alon and you had the Fume Knight, both extraordinary bosses. And the Ivory King, you had the first cat, Alva or Ava, whatever it is. And then you had the two pets, Lud and Zalin, which I have never beaten because I hated the Frigid Outskirts with a passion. And you had the Ivory King fight. So each one of those had 3. So if you think about combining them, that's 9 bosses in total. So why is everyone upset that there's only 2 bosses? Okay. I don't know why people are upset. It's because, first of all, we already know there's going to be 2. And I think just people's expectations were so high, and just people want to absorb as much as they can, given that this is most probably the last Dark Souls game. But I don't want people to be upset about that, because we know that in all the DLCs, including Bloodborne's Old Hunters, which was supposedly supposed to be 2 DLCs, but they decided to merge them into one major big DLC. That had 5 bosses. Maria, Ludwig, Lawrence, the Orphan of Cause, and the Living Failures. And that was considered an exceptional DLC. Actually, all the DLCs for Dark Souls have been exceptional. So I don't want people to worry. They have never, From Software, have never disappointed us with the downloadable content. 15 new weapons, that's a major addition. That's almost as much as the Old Hunters of Bloodborne. 4 new spells, we have already seen 2 of them. The 2 bosses we've seen, I don't want to spoil anything. The trailer is there if you want to see it. Again, multi-phased fights. The areas look interesting and the enemies look interesting. I personally don't like the snow setting, but I just want people to be aware that there's nothing to worry about. The game is not even out yet. We have 1 month left. There's no reason for anyone to panic. There's no reason to be upset. We still have another DLC on the way, and that's probably going to have at least 2 to 3 more bosses at least. There's going to be a new PvP arena, which is going to help this game a lot because I do mostly PvP stuff. So I think that given the history of the DLCs, we should not be worried. It's going to be fine. The Hidetaka Miyazaki and From Software never disappoint, so I think we're in for a real treat, especially if we're going back to the Painted World. We do know it's not the Painted World of Ariamis now, it's the Painted World of Ariandel, but we know that there's going to be a lot of connections, maybe Velka, maybe Allfather Lloyd. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that real small fight club I've been into, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you very much and have a good evening.